We like old adverts.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to We Like Old Adverts. My name is Joe. I'm joined, as ever, by Jim and Connell. Please like us on Facebook, and remember, smash that like button under your little video now. Press it so hard that your thumb goes all bloody. We've got 3 adverts for you today. The first one is going to be from me, and it's by a very familiar couple of people advertising a very familiar brand.
Hello, I'm a Mac.
And I'm a PC.
I'm into doing fun stuff like movies, music, and podcasts.
And I also do fun stuff like spreadsheets and timesheets and pie charts.
Yeah, PC, it's quite hard to capture a family holiday with, say, a pie chart.
Not really. For example, this light grey area could represent shenanigans and tomfoolery, while this dark grey area could represent hijinks. And you see here, we've further divided hijinks into capers, monkey business, and just larking about.
Wow. I feel like I was there.
Oh, I love them both, but
So do I. Stop it. I mean, I brought this to you because that advert has gotten under my skin since it was aired. And I tell you, my problems are threefold. First off, pie charts, spreadsheets, and that ilk are really important. And the angry logic of David Mitchell should probably understand that. Let's see you throw together a quarterly report with pictures of your cousin's christening. Secondly, you could do fun stuff like movies and podcasts and music and stuff. PCs do that just fine. It's really easy. In fact, the stuff you need to do that on a PC, you probably get it out of the box. Thirdly, most importantly, I like Apple products. I use Apple products. This is an Apple product that I'm recording on. I've got an iPhone there. I like the accessibility of them. It's fine. So the weird thing is I use my Mac to do things like make pie charts, file tax returns, all that stuff. You know, my PC there, you know what I use that for? Playing games. The funnest thing you can do on a machine. Have you tried playing a game on a Mac? It's like teaching the Macarena to a goose. It's just a horrid experience. So don't be playing this. You're not my friend, Apple, okay?
Yeah.
This is very much a business relationship.
One of the weird things they've done with David Mitchell's his pie chart is they've made it the color scheme that they were using for the Apple products at the time. So they've actually made their own stuff seem boring by accident.
Yeah.
And annoyingly as well, this I imagine that sort of Mitchell and Webb themselves would probably have bristled a little bit at this. But they've effectively dressed them as Mark and Jeremy, haven't they?
Yes.
And they've tried to make it look like it's the characters as much as anything else, which it's not. But they've done everything they can to make that happen. And you can tell that they've not written the script as well. I think it's almost like they're trying to make you think they have. They're trying to write it in their voices. And it just doesn't ring true.
Shenanigans, tomfoolery, hijinks.
See, that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's that attempt at aping their language.
Stop trying to be cute, Apple, okay?
Yeah.
You know, we're not, as I say, we're not mates. My friends, if they employed people, wouldn't have such weird labor conditions. So, you know, like, maybe we're not as like knockabout friendly as you think we are. That thing that in that series of adverts, another thing that they kept going was PCs get a lot of viruses. We don't get viruses. Do you get a load of malware though? Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
all the time.
bad, isn't it, mate?
You're kicking it to Big Apple today. I like it.
Yeah, I suppose I just really don't like, as I say, when an advert thinks we're mates. We are not. You are selling me something. This is a very simple relationship. You are the yeoman and I am the punter, all right?
Yeah.
Don't put your arm around my shoulder. Get off, you know? And that one really, I think, crystallizes how I feel about it.
I often feel like that when I'm watching adverts now. I'll sit there and think, why have they bothered spending all this money on a car advert, say? Why have they spent all that money flying out there with a helicopter and the fancy car going around the mountains and stuff, when they could just come on and go, buy a Mercedes, and then move on to the next one, buy a Nokia, buy some crisps.
I think they've done the research into this, mate, and concluded that actually making the adverts more interesting and engaging, actually, it works. I don't know. I'm just a layman. But I
maybe
think
that's why I didn't get very far in the advertising industry. Why don't we just say, like, I'll do it. I'll go on screen and go, buy some crisps.
Which
Monster
one?
Munch.
Okay.
yeah. So if anyone from any advertising agencies are watching, Connell is available.
Apple, if you want me to flog your goods, I'm your man. Us three could do it. Yeah. Oh, pie charts.
Yeah. I'll take it back.
Haven't Apple got more money than like most countries in the world?
Yeah.
So if they think that they're looking after that money without at least a spreadsheet, they've got another thing coming, haven't they?
Yeah,
because it's quite important to keep track of your money.
So now we have got an advertising jingle that is so catchy, it should come with a public health warning. Connell, do you want to explain why you've chosen it?
Very nostalgic for me. It reminds me of being a kid watching TV and thinking that like this was an amazing product and I wanted it for God knows what reason.
Stale smells up here often come from down there in your carpet. Smells from your dog and tobacco too. Well, Shake and Vac from Glade is here. It's all you have to do. Do the shake and vac and put the freshness back. Do the shake and vac and put the freshness back. When your carpet smells fresh, your room does too. Every time you vacuum, remember what to do. Do the shake and vac and put the freshness back. Shake and Vac in 3 fragrances.
Wow.
It's good, isn't it?
It is great. And you know what? I remember Shake and Vac and like using it, like helping your mum and dad out around the house, doing your chores, and it was actually quite fun, wasn't it? Making a mess, and then like you've got a license to make a mess for a bit, and yes, you have to clean it up immediately, but it's really easy because you can see it all.
Well, you've put the freshness back, haven't you? So you've made a mess, but you've put the freshness back. It was there.
And that's a weird one because carpets don't really smell fresh when they're brand new, do they? They smell like synthetic materials and like burnt plastic and stuff.
I bet hers don't when she's just sitting about smoking cigars with her dog.
Oh,
that dog on
fag in the ashtray.
Yeah.
I mean, that's some deep 80s grot. That's like a streak of grease from the chip pan up the wall, you know?
Yeah.
That kind of 80s grot.
That dog as well. That dog breed doesn't exist anymore. I don't know what it was, but it looked wet and smelly.
I like that. She points somewhere and a dog appears. I mean, people talk about like, invisibility or flight. That's the superpower I want.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's a wicked power. Dog finger.
Collie.
Did you notice she was hoovering the top of a snooker table as well? Lived in like a pool hall. She's a tiny person on top of it.
She's living a weird life, this woman. No wonder she's sort of having this weird kind of fever dream dance. I think she's like maybe some sort of failed entertainer.
Well, I can tell you who she is.
Around the house.
I
meant the character.
Oh, the character, right. Well, yeah. Well, if that's the case, then she's definitely drawn a lot from her own experiences because she is Jenny Logan. And Wikipedia describes her as an actor, singer, and dancer, the triple threat. Considering that this is her job, she can't do any of them very well, can she? She's singing. She's loudly speaking out of. How do you speak out of key? How is that possible to speak out of key?
Yeah. Oh, if it's her singing, who knows? But yeah, it does seem to me like she's just trying to just live in this fantasy world where she sings and she dances rather than cleaning up the horrible filth that she lives in.
Imagine that. That's a paucity of imagination, that one. Isn't it? If your fantasy is like fucking the smell of the breed doesn't exist anymore in a green, like eggshell green snooker hall with like quite cramped as well. It's not a very glamorous house. You know what I mean? Yeah. Looks like some new build bungalow in Clayton in Bradford. You know, it just feels quite ordinary in a non-appealing way. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that Hoover that they use, like you're advertising a product that needs a vacuum cleaner to clean it up, and that's the one you go for, like the knackered old one from your Aunt
like push me,
Sally
pull you.
or whatever.
Yeah.
But do you know what brings the whole advert together? You put the shake and vac into the freshness bag. Do the shake and vac.
Got a very Grease Lightning feel to it, hasn't it?
It's like the saddest version of Grease you've ever seen.
Yeah. Oh God. Does it still exist, Shake and Vac? I remember there was Shake and Vac and Salt and Shake crisps. Everything was being shook in the 80s.
Yeah, I hated those Salt and Shake crisps. You put the salt on for me.
Yes, that's your job, isn't it?
That is trying to convince a generation of children to go into manual labour.
Definitely.
Starting them early, getting them on the production line.
Because I said this about crisp and dry. Does that even exist? You know what I bought just yesterday? I bought a crisp and dry.
Wow, the power of advertising, your own show.
It wasn't for me. It was for my gran. She asked for it on the shopping list.
And what did your mama say when you brought it home?
Very
We're
good.
referencing ourselves, lads.
Yay!
And for our last advert, or should I say commercial, Jim has brought for us one of the strangest things I've ever seen. Jim?
Oh, yeah, this was brought to my attention. It's an advert. It's very famous and very well known. It's a meme in itself. It's for Folgers Coffee, which I hadn't heard of before hearing of this advert. And it's about a family reunion. And, well, let's just have a look at it.
I must have the wrong house.
Sister?
Oh, I missed you so much.
They waited up all night for you, you know.
It's a long way from West Africa. Oh, real coffee.
He's here.
I brought you something from far away.
Really? Oh.
What are you doing?
You're my present this year.
The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
Oh!
Stop being weird. Why are you being weird?
Why was it so weird? Why?
Oh! What are you doing?
What is there about coffee that says there must be like incest going on somewhere?
Yeah.
I like it comes in and says, real coffee. And it comes in such an attractive industrial tub. Have you seen what that's still?
Yeah, it looks like creatine or something. Muscle gaining stuff.
Yeah, quite. Yeah, they don't quite as much about packaging in America, do they? There's kind of a stack 'em high, sell 'em cheap attitude to stuff like that.
I'm going to be honest. I don't feel like that's the main issue with this advert.
Well, he has been to West Africa.
He has, yeah.
Generic West Africa.
Could be anything, couldn't it? But you know what? I've been away for such a long time. I just want to get home, have a coffee, and bone my little sister into oblivion. Like, it's just like. It's the tension. It's
so weird.
It's tempting to think, was there perhaps just some sort of chemistry between the actors? But it's clearly a directorial decision because it's the lingering on the way they're staring at each other. That little like look from both of them. Just, oh God.
The best bit of the advert was her disappointment at the present, though.
Yeah, she's a little bit.
Went, I've got you something from far away, and she goes, "Oh, fine, I'll have it back then."
You haven't even opened it yet.
Yeah. Oh, some nipple clamps from a big brother.
And he has the white devil audacity to come back from Africa and say, real coffee.
Yeah.
That's where it comes from. It's like me coming back
Finally,
from Portugal and going, real Nando's. It's just ridiculous.
Oh, it might be the creepiest advert I've ever seen.
And we've seen some creepy.
Yeah, we really have. Yeah,
we've seen one with Jimmy Savile in it.
Yeah, God, yeah, he used to do some. But we'll do that another time.
Yeah.
But the advert is actually called "Brother and Sister Home for Christmas," which sounds a bit like a porn title, doesn't it? It's even like everything about it is just.
What did you think of the strapline? The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
If you don't know what Folgers is,
it's not a nice word, is it?
The only thing that refers to it in the advert, because them two are well awake. You know, he's come all the way from West Africa. She says that she's been up all night.
Yeah.
So she hasn't been to bed. They're not freshly woken up. They don't really need the coffee, but the mum and dad have.
Yeah.
And their son has just come back from West Africa, yet they prefer the best thing about waking up, including the set of circumstances put in front of us, her son returning from West Africa. Still the best thing about waking up is the coffee. I don't care about my son coming home from West Africa. That's irrelevant. Get me a coffee.
Yeah, just get into that kitchen and stop them looking at each other like that. This only ends in one place.
I think
And
there's
it's
something
going to have severe health problems.
a little more with the mum there, that because she wakes with the smell. She wakes with the smell, and she goes, "He's here," which is a little bit apocalyptic. It's like a movie trailer quality to that. But does she do that every morning and be disappointed because they've got a big tub of it? You know, surely they're always having Folgers coffee.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, why don't they just
instead
think
the try-hard son coming back from West Africa or whatever the hell?
Maybe when he left for West Africa, he went, "That's my Folgers. It's got my name on it. Do not touch it." She's been desperate for a cup ever since.
American telly loves that schmaltzy nonsense. Can you imagine putting that on British telly?
Oh.
You know, like the Vaseline on the lens and like the eternal love of the family.
And that guitar in the background.
They didn't do a good job of it. Did you see the snow outside? It looked like spit. It's pretty horrible. I mean, I said then, yeah, can you imagine it on British telly? Like, you're my present this year. Mom, she's being weird and incest again. Come all the way from generic West Africa.
Oh.
So thank you very much, everyone, for watching, getting all this way to the end of the video. If you liked it, let us know. I'm joined by Jim and Connell as ever. And yeah, that's us from We Like Old Adverts. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.